This is the story of Gideon the judge. The Israelites had been serving foreign gods and were once again slaves. The enemy burnt their homes, so the children of Israel lived in caves. The people began to cry out to the Lord for help. God sent them a prophet who reminded them of the promise that their fathers made. One day, an angel appeared to Gideon and said, "I want you to know that God is with you." Amazed, Gideon replied, "With me? How could that possibly be?" The angel answered, "I will make you strong. Go and save Israel from the hand of the enemy." Gideon asked for a sign and went to prepare food. He returned with some meat, bread, and soup. When he put it on the rock, the angel touched it and it burst into flames. After the angel had gone, Gideon built an altar and worshipped the Lord. That night, God spoke to Gideon in a vision. "Take your father's best ox, then follow my instructions." Gideon took 10 men and went to the altar of the heathen god Baal. They hitched the ox to the altar, then smashed it to the ground. Then they replaced it with an altar to the Lord and prepared a sacrifice using the ox. The following morning, it was discovered that the heathen altar had been destroyed. The men of the city were furious, shouting, "Bring out Gideon, for this he must die." Soon afterwards, a large enemy army crossed the river Jordan and camped in the valley. The Spirit of God came upon Gideon, and he summoned Israel. The 12 tribes responded to the trumpet call. Gideon said to the Lord, "If you are really going to use me to save Israel, I'll put out a fleece of wool tonight. In the morning, if the fleece is wet but the ground is dry, then I will know that you will help me." God told Gideon, "There are too many people. Send home the timid and the frightened." They did, but there were still 10,000. So God said, "Take them down to the water. Those who drink from the cup of their hands you will take with you, and those that lap like a dog leave behind." Then there were only 300 men left. During the night, God spoke to Gideon, "Attack the enemy, but if you're afraid, first go down and listen to what they're saying." So Gideon went down into the enemy camp. They were discussing dreams and premonitions that Gideon's army would utterly destroy them. Gideon prepared for battle by giving every man a trumpet and a jar of burning oil. "Everyone blow the trumpets on all sides of the camp, then everyone shout, 'We are fighting for God and for Gideon.'" Just after midnight, they blew their trumpets, smashed the jars, and a great cry went up on all sides, "We are fighting for God and for Gideon." In confusion, the enemy started fighting each other. As the large enemy army ran off, Gideon's small army pursued them. After a long battle, the enemy was utterly destroyed. The children of Israel asked Gideon to be their king. Gideon replied, "The Lord God is your king." The children of Israel dwelt in peace for the next 40 years. Gideon had many wives and 70 sons, and he lived to a good old age, then died.